Hello guys and welcome everyone to the qualifying here in the Le Mans Virtual Series. The stream is already live, of course, with the official stuff that is happening outside there. And we are just coming very right to the season openers trailer and to some exclusive first footage that we all see about the new Bahrain circuit on rFactor 2 coming probably later this year, maybe next year. I'm not sure if it's 100% announced when it's about to come. For this round, drivers of the Le Mans Virtual Series are able to race around the circuit of Bahrain though. And we are coming down to qualifying, which is about to head off for the GTE runners in a couple of minutes. And you guys have tuned in for not only having a watch party of the official stream, but also a little bit of double commentary, as I'm obviously looking out for things to see how the GTEs handle around the circuit. Since obviously I'm running in an LMP2 car, David and Rošek is going to take the qualifying for our car, and Jene Simoncic in the number 4 for the Vanwall Burst cars, and we're looking forward to see the full qualifying. I'm gonna be a little bit more silent, but I'm gonna turn up also the volume of stream. So quick feedback, guys, if everything is loud enough.
5-round series starting off here in the Middle East with 8 hours of Bahrain. We then go to Monza next month for 4 hours around the famous Italian circuit with Spa-Francorchamps, Sebring, and then the Le Mans Virtual, welcoming the 2023 year. My name is Ben Kostenjuris. I'm joined, as you've already heard, from Chris.
Triplish, thank you so much for a resubscription on the Prime subscription for 6 months in a row. Thank you so much, buddy. AI for Drivers Academy, hello, welcome. Captain Perkele, good luck to you guys too.
Yeah, it's a fantastic lineup, isn't it? Throughout both categories, really. I mean, particularly the LMP field, though. You know, some of the team names we've got in there as well, the AMG team, the Porsche team as well. Some of the drivers in there, absolutely fantastic all the way throughout. It's really hard to pick a winner. I think season 1, 2.5 points between the top 3 just shows how competitive it was. I think we're going to be adding to that this year. There was those top 3, but 2.5 points between them. I think we're going to add to that even more this year with that entry list that we've got.
If you've just stumbled across the Le Mans Virtual for the first time and you're wondering what this is all about, we have tweaked a few things for this year, and here is your explainer.
Yes, get the explainer.
The Le Mans Virtual Series will be run on the rFactor 2 platform and includes a 40-car field, which will be increased to more than 50 for the series finale. Each race features multi-class racing between Le Mans prototype and GTE cars. There will be driver changes, dynamic weather, and day-to-night transitions. The calendar will begin in the Middle East for the 8 hours of Bahrain at the Bahrain International Circuit before we head to the Temple of Speed for the 4 hours of Monza in October, a visit to the Ardennes Forest in November for the 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps, and then we go stateside for the 500 miles of Sebring in December to round out the year. The 24-hour of Le Mans Virtual will close the season with a January finale. Each team roster comprises of 4 drivers, with 3 being required to participate in each race. Teams must field 1 FIA-graded driver in their lineup in at least one of the events. Each driver will need to meet minimum and maximum driver times, and teams will work to create their own setups to optimize performance and strategy. Full simulation includes fuel usage and tyre wear, so strategy will be the key to success.
That's awesome.
Failures such as engine and brake failure can and will play a part, with aero damage caused by collisions affecting the car's performance, but can be repaired in the pit stops. The race director and stewards will oversee on-track action and will apply penalties if necessary. The prize pool is $250,000 across the series, half of which will be separated between the series itself and half will be awarded for the 24 hours finale. It will be split equally between both categories, and the top 10 finishers receive prize money according to their position in the series standings.
Well, that's a quick and dirty explanation.
And the headline there, $250,000 on offer across our season, with the split for the Le Mans Virtual, the 24 hours, the big peak of our series at the end, well, at the end of our year, but at the start.
So guys, the GTE qualifying is on.
Count for nothing though, because we do have plenty of points on offer and therefore prize money as well, especially with this round being 8 hours.
Yeah, more points go out for grabs, 38 to the winner.
Yeah, that's obviously a point.
25 if it's a much shorter race. So, yeah, this is a really, really important round. You know, you could really get ahead in the championship if you get a good result here. We saw that with some of the longer races last year. But it's a step into the unknown as well, isn't it? So for us as a series, in a virtual series anyway. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we fare here. It's going to be a bit of a level playing field, isn't it? We don't know who's going to go quick, particularly in the GTE class. So it's going to be very interesting.
The series was in its first year last year, even though we'd already done a Le Mans Virtual. So we had the second Le Mans Virtual to finish that year. All of that experience they gained last year will mean that the level will have risen, and all the teams that were quick to prepare,
thank you so much, appreciate it.
Lose that advantage this year with everyone else catching up.
Yeah,
so guys, Recitas, I see the first GTEs are opening the lap, so
I think there was an
can we tune in,
to
please?
take nothing away from them, I think that they were just so well prepared for the series and with the platform and things like that.
Darius, I hope so too, to be honest.
And
I hope so too.
Was potentially an element to that.
About the competition
some of the
system.
that we saw we would talk about them, what fantastic driver lineup some of the other teams had, but they didn't quite get the results that maybe we would expect them to do. They've had a lot of time, they've had a good few months now to prepare, they know what's coming, and I think because of that, I might see a
that's not entirely true.
So, yeah,
but,
I'm excited.
okay.
Everyone knows what's coming now. Everyone knows what to expect. So, yeah.
It kind of, because they know about Spa-Francorchamps, they know about Le Mans, they know about Sebring, and they know about Monza. But we've introduced this brand new circuit, the Sakir International Circuit, Bahrain. It's a brand new build in rFactor 2. It's not even been released to the public yet. And this is the layout, the traditional circuit, not the oval that we saw once in Formula 1. But it's been a mainstay for WEC for many, many years. And actually, over the years, we've gone into this day-to-night race. It's a really good track to race endurance racing.
I love it. It's got a bit of everything to it, hasn't it? It's got the long straights, heavy braking zones. Here we go. Here's one of them, straight into the first corner. We're going to see a lot of overtaking.
Nice AI driving.
The early phases of the race.
Or have those been taken?
Long sweeping corners through where we're going to see the LMP cars really motoring through here, and this is
that
where
looks AI driving.
GTE cars really tested as well, particularly on tyre, where this could be a
yes.
section of the track which comes into play.
AI driving. So here are them GTEs. Oh no.
GTE category, we've got 20 minutes of qualifying for both categories of car, but the categories are split into two, so there's not too much traffic for the GTE cars to
so Siggy takes the provisional pole for the first moment. 53.4
remaining of this session, and we're following a Red Bull team which has switched from the LMP2 category down into the GTE field. An interesting choice from Dennis Lind and G2 Esports that run Red Bull Racing, known as Oracle Red Bull for this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the team to watch for me in the GTE class. It's just an incredibly strong lineup. You know, Yuri Kazdorp out there, a big name in esports. Dennis Jordan likewise as well. They've got Cooper Webster in for this round as well. But there are some heavy hitters from esports in this car. Yes, they might not be used to racing in the GTE
let's
category.
see.
They're used to the LMP, but
two Aston Martins,
incredibly talented team.
4 Ferraris,
yeah, I think
if I see it right.
Very different style of racing in GTE. You really
6
have to be
Porsches
careful with the traffic coming through, making sure
and I
that
think
you
3
allow space for
BMWs.
those LMP2 cars, and it tends actually to be a much more condensed
Let's see.
affair. We also should point out that they are
I am going to be very interested to see how the BOP is looking like.
Should be doing 7 pit stops. Whether they can achieve that at this
Alicia
particular
Neto,
circuit
thank you
will
so
remain
much,
to be
appreciate
seen.
it.
But that is a longer stint than we
So guys, we're gonna do
usually
the same tomorrow for the 8-hour race.
It is. It'll be
Obviously, you're
interesting
gonna
to
see me
see
drive
how
in that
they fare
8-hour
with
race
that.
in between.
One thing we will know noticed with
But
the
we're gonna have a
category
watch party
is
of the
no
official stream
Corvettes,
since no
this year,
spectating
as
on
well.
the servers allowed.
More Porsches out there, of course, more Astons as well out there, which is nice to see. We can see the Oracle Red Bull Racing are one of the many Porsches we see out there. BMWs are back, of course, and we've got the Ferraris out there as well. A shame we haven't got the Corvettes back, but like we see with the 24-hour Le Mans, we may see some appear when we get to the 24-hour of
Yes,
Le Mans
no one
Virtual,
picked the
but,
Corvette.
it's going to be an
Interestingly.
incredibly competitive field, no doubt, and these are just one of the teams I think we could see challenging for the title this year. Here is, of course, though, the number 71 car that we saw do so well last year. 127 points scored, helped it win the title quite comfortably. In the end, you can see Kevin Siggy and Enzo Benito in the car. Chris Lullum heading for them, who was an incredibly
Alicia Neto, thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it. Hey Cameron, thank you so much.
Chris, also with them as well, but these are going to be very hard to beat.
It is a red line.
Yeah, I haven't tested the GTEs obviously since I had not to ride them. Vired, thank you also for the follow on the Twitch channel. We are lacking just one more follower on the Twitch channel to hit 3,900 followers overall, so I would appreciate that.
And then BS
I will also move.
sim racing team that have the responsibility of carrying BMW, and in that team,
where is
BMW works driver Bruno
there is the
Spengler,
alert
as
box?
their pro driver, and we will see Bruno
Gonna move it.
participate in this first round. Of
Where do we
series.
move
You
it to?
nominate 4 drivers, one of which needs to be FIA graded, as we heard from the explainer.
Centered.
Quite a few of the GTE teams have been campaigning their pro driver in this particular race, unlike what we'll see later on in LMP2, where there are many.
So there is a rig somewhere in the background. Where is he sitting right now?
Yeah, and here we can see Kevin
Apart from
Siggy
being in a BMW and in his rig there.
we can see him.
But there is a rig in the background, do you see? At least a wheel mount.
For those new viewers, this is the beauty we get. You can see the drivers without a crash helmet on, so you really get a view of their reaction, and that becomes particularly interesting when we get the pro drivers in, who are not used to having that. But Kevin Siggy straight down to business. 2 of the Ferraris trying to challenge early doors, but it's as you
Is he at some sim racing house? I don't know.
Leading from the front, we're only approaching.
Rodrigo, yes, tomorrow in the 8-hour race I will run in the car. Qualifying today has been taken by a teammate. Hey Jerome, thank you for joining.
Get pole position.
Interestingly, we saw Yuri Kazdorp come out in the Porsche Red Bull machine. It's gone back.
Yeah, it looks like being a game house. Like the red seat on the other side looks like being an equivalent of the rig he's currently sitting in. Anyway, Siggy is purple, but so is Dane Warren in the Porsche. In the meanwhile, Yuri Kazdorp should be about to end his first lap. Although it looks that he's in pit road and just left it again. So not sure if that Porsche has some technical issues, but look at Siggy again, 2/10 up on himself.
In GTE, and they've switched up their driver lineup again this year. Michele Di Alessandro, Mohamed Patel in 2 of the drivers in the car for them.
That BMW looked a little bit lazy out of the final turn, but let's see, he's coming across the line.
Now he crosses the beam and improves by 0.2 of a second, so puts himself over 0.2 clear of the 26 Sim Maranello Ferrari, which is for the moment in second position. 2 Ferraris, although that's
Dane Warren though, just a 10th off with the Porsche.
Coanda Esports machine coming up into second position. Australian Dean Warren piloting that car.
Yeah, and you mentioned teams that learned a lot from last year and could challenge this year, and I think this is one of the lead forces, if not the lead force.
So,
this 77
BMW ahead of a Porsche, ahead of a Ferrari. And the Ferrari obviously being the one-lap wonders.
One to keep an eye on this season.
JK, 81 place, thank you for joining, welcome.
3 in the championship.
Interesting that Coanda have refocused with the help of Porsche into the LMP2 category, so they want to win this outright.
Yeah.
And the Coanda kind of, let's say, more customer-focused cars, Proton being...
I'm being very, very interested to see how they are going to do
they've still got 2
in the
Porsches
LMP2
field,
runners.
they're not with the Porsche Works livery. They're with the
I mean, those guys are
School
obviously
and
top-class sim
Quanger
racers, but
livery.
last year
So
they've
that
been
kind
in
of
the
gives you an idea
GTE
of where
academy,
the passion is
not
coming
academy,
from.
in the
We're used to
GTE
seeing Porsche in
category, I
GTE,
think.
but the focus has
And
now moved
as
to
mentioned, they
winning
now
this
switched to
outright.
the LMP2 runners. And yeah, they're gonna be up against us in Redline, and it makes the LMP2 feel just even tighter than it has been already last year.
Your screen now. So a few new teams to get used to. Another one is Satellite Racing Rookies, likewise as is Sim Maranello in speed as well, who we'll see throughout the all-Chinese driver lineup. But this is another new one, P1 Esports, making their way now through into.
Yeah, I guess that Siggy is at the HQ of Redline.
Back straight they go, just finding their feet so far. Quite close, isn't it? Look at that between the midfield.
Yeah, basically, David has been quite a bit faster than me during the course of the testing, so what we basically do is, like, we evaluate how the testing has gone, how everyone is feeling like, and David is has been the quickest from all of us, and it was a big no-brainer for that. You know, he's just super experienced as well anyway, so doesn't really make a huge difference mostly whom to really get put into the car for the qualifying, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. At the end of the day, it's like about day form as well. And the testing so far, things have looked awesome, so I'm pretty sure that David is able to maybe even put it into the front row, or even pole. He got the pace, he got everything what it takes to. It's just about, in those 20 minutes, it's just about getting that one lap together, really.
1/10 behind, Ferrari third, 2/10 behind. So if you're talking about balance of performance, and we always have to get these different types of car as equal as possible, it looks like it's a pretty equal spread at the moment. The Aston Martins, probably, if you look at the performance of the teams, are not to the same level as the guys running those very highest vehicles. And, you know, there's a Works Porsche, effectively. There's a Works BMW. And we haven't mentioned yet, there's also a Works Ferrari. It's down in 10th. It's actually the last of our Ferraris on the
but super tight. I mean, look at it. 4th to 13th, literally within 2/10.
Well, here we can see RAG.
Holy moly.
Performances last year. FIA Formula 3 race winner from this year, Alex Smoliar, in the car for them in qualifying. So they've got their pro driver in, only 8 thousandths down through the first sector. Again, this is another really, really strong team, a team that got better and better.
No Corvettes, Cameron. It's true.
Be ones to watch going into.
So guys, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central European Summer Time, we go live with the 8 hours of Bahrain. So looking forward to see you guys tomorrow on the stream.
From the start finishing line through to
tomorrow I'm gonna sit in the rig though.
2 corners in that, and then the middle sector of the lap is all of the tricky stuff, all the fiddly stuff in the middle of the lap, with turn 13 being the start of sector 3, and then you've got 2 corners in the start of sector 3. So what you'll see is a big loss of time in the middle sector. Smolier's faster in the final sector of the lap though, gains a little
the sweat
on our fastest time right now. So a good final sector of the lap, a lot of people losing time.
Yeah, luckily I'm in the rig tomorrow indeed. I gotta be honest though, I haven't felt as comfortable as usually though.
On another attempt. He's been into the pits.
Raya Sim Racing, this is rFactor 2.
Here he goes then up towards
the most underrated sim out there.
Under attack though from the likes of Warren in the 77. We're watching him coming through turn number 11 now. Only himself to beat so far, but that could change any second. You can see the time to beat through the next sector, 124 across
40,000.
Only 400ths of a second back from.
If he nails the final sector.
Makes his way up towards the final 2 corners now.
Yes, Cameron. I need a towel too.
We've seen people losing a couple of tenths in that middle sector, but Siggy is able to effectively match it. But these are the margins it's going to be throughout
that
the whole
final
8
sector
hours. In fact,
looked
he's
better,
decided
but he's going
he
to
didn't
pit
like that
road.
one, so he's very, very close. But on his dashboard, he'll have more information, more splits than we know of. He will have seen that perhaps he lost time through 13. He was losing time into 14, and therefore
Dane
he
Warren.
might as well bail out. Dane Warren, though, on a good
also
mark.
coming to
No,
pit
he's
road.
going to pits as well with less than 4 minutes remaining.
So,
this will be their last chance.
Everyone's going for the final blow.
89, is improving BS Plus competition.
Comes the 888 also going to pit road.
They're running in P12. Personal best through the first 2 sectors. We might see them improve. The 66 Ferrari looks like it's about to improve, and there we go. Ibrahim Khan, P5. So a nice improvement there, but only briefly. The 66 Ferrari goes up to P5 now, so Schindler goes up to P5. Here's the in-speed car. Very nice looking car.
Enko, we are in the LMP2 category, and my personal team is next to you, Vanwall Burst, and the sister team is
Looks like they've got themselves
Lloyd Vanwall Burst.
setup, working alongside their teammates. Great to see how these different teams approach these 5 races.
Honestly, if they are sitting somewhere in China right now in the center, they got 3 AM in the morning.
Their own studio. They all raced in the same studio and had a live stream showing their efforts. Ferrari did the same thing last year. And we had various Chinese teams doing things from gaming shows, didn't we? Quite a distraction when you've got fans watching in. Is this going to be an improvement? And he's going into the pits. I think we're going to have this pattern. Around now is the time to get the tyres changed. The track is obviously at its cleanest, and the temperature is starting to drop because the light is starting to fade. So
Sharon, I don't know. I haven't seen that car jumping around too much, so I think it looks overall alright.
For in-speed, they're going to be similar to what we saw with the Axel Motorsport team last year.
Exactly. Once this qualifying here is done, the LMP2 runners are about to hit the track, which is the last 2 minutes. So everyone is now getting into their final runs.
And you can see what it meant to them. So I think that's what we might see with in-speed. So don't be too worried for them if they don't do so well at this first round.
A look into the sim rig of Patrick Schindler. It almost looks like he's looking up at his screen, doesn't he? Look very animated inside.
That was his last lap.
So he's happy with that 5th position. There's no way to improve.
Probably no fuel to improve.
And this is now the start of the
So,
challenge from
guys, crunch time.
Esports.
Do or die.
Australian
Here we
Dane
go.
Warren is on a mission to find 1/10 of a second.
Lock up
And knock
into
Redline
the first
off the
turn.
position. The champions from last year are starting as they left last season.
Let's see what they can do then. We'll keep an eye on the splits. Proton, of course, running in the top 3 last year in the championship. Let's see what they can do as they make their way up towards the end of the first sector. The 77 leading the 88.
A purple S1.
Of anyone through the first sector. So the challenge looking very, very good at the start of the lap as they come down to the hairpin at turn number 8.
It's Kevin Van Duren who is behind, and he'll be learning exactly what Dane Warren is doing right and wrong, so we'll be able to follow his teammate's car. At the moment, the 88 is down in 10th position, half a second off, a little bit of a lock-up on the front left.
He gets the apex though.
Thing going into turn 10 because the track falls away from you. How much time has he lost? This is the main sector where Kevin Siggy seems to be so strong. The braking into there and then the climb up.
Yeah, but the Porsche should be good in the final sector again, thanks to straight line speed they are doing.
That's the target, a 1:24.683. Breaks the beam. Is he slower?
No.
Just by a 1/10 and a half. It's going to be an improvement. And Kevin Van Duren is losing time behind him.
And we can see, I can see Yuri Kazdorp is improving on this lap as well. He's done a personal best through the first sector, and so is the number 11 as well with Project One. They've done the best first sector.
Sitting 9th right now.
And they've done a
second
personal
off
best through the second as well.
total.
So keep an eye on the number 11 Porsche.
Siggy, purple S1.
Dane Warren to the line. Is he able to improve?
So he
does
improved,
but it's not enough.
but
He stays in second.
only not 8,000ths of a second.
Next over the line, watching him come to the line is
And
lost
Doran
time. He has
7/10
improved, though.
off.
And the number 11 went to P3. You can see that. Project One.
Wait,
by
what?
Dora Esports goes
No, that was
third
Lerner.
place.
And that's Moritz Lerner, who is basically team owner of Dora Motorsport. He's the pro driver racing in GT4 at the moment. Obviously an incredibly talented sim racer as well. Made his name and he's getting his drives.
Ooh, a
thanks
moment
to
there.
that.
Yeah, the
very, very
BMW
happy
is
on the
like
third
poisonous
on
on the
the
rear
grid.
end when you
Still
turn
seeing
into the
as the
goddamn
checkered flag
turns.
comes out. Kevin Siggy
Siggy,
almost
though.
has one hand on the trophy. He's pushing through the second sector, but there is no improvement
1.5
there. And
tenths.
although he's not going to improve,
I
he
think
will
that's going to be
potentially finish this lap.
box.
Just a couple of corners to go. I don't think he needs to, though. I don't think there's any other challenges out there.
He already
he
waved the
nailed
white
on this
flag on the
if
lap,
he
though, I
wants to.
think.
He's not gone quicker through the second sector, so there's no
What a
need for
send.
him to finish. He's shaking his head, and I think he'll bail. No need for him to do it. I think that is job done for BMW Team Redline, and he knows it.
And including that weaving, that lap would have still been good enough for P4. I mean, he takes pole, but...
was still very, very strong. It would have still put him, even with those celebrationary wiggles, on row 2. But BMW Team Redline, our champions from last year with such a strong lineup, are there once again. A 10th ahead of the rest of the
Unsurprisingly,
field.
though.
A good last push from Coanda Esports with Dane Warren picking up
Car
the
still put
outside of
the
that
car into
first row.
6th
But
for
ultimately,
Red
from
Bull.
the very beginning, and we said it at the start, Redline are the team to beat. There is SF Velas Esports team. We haven't said too much about them. The 51 machine ending up in a wayward 12th position.
Yeah,
and
only
Ferrari
16
teams are out there.
GTEs,
Well, I've got to say, these stand
which
out,
obviously means
standout
24
performers
LMPs
have
for
to be
us.
The number 11 Project 1 car. That is an absolutely superb result. Likewise, the Triple Eight with Alex Smoliar in the car. What a result for him to get.
So we have a short break
Absolutely brilliant.
before
Good
going
with
into the
pole position then, thanks to
LMP2
Kevin
runners.
Siggy and Team Redline. Proton Coanda Esports a 10th.
So we are
back with
looking-
Dave Warren. And then, as you say, Project 1 Door Esports with Moritz Lerner, the pro driver, picking up 3rd. R8G with the 888 machine. Smolier, also the pro driver, in 4th position. Sim Maranello just behind in the fellow Ferrari. Then Oracle Red Bull Racing only 6th. They will be hoping for more. Simsa Esports, BMW Team BS Competition in 8th position. The best of the Aston Martins is the Pro Drive backed Fire Esports team with P1 Esport in 10th. The second Proton Coanda Esports car in 11th position. The Works Ferrari in 12th spot, thanks to Michel. Then Yimi Yusula in 13th spot for Satellite. Marla down in 14th. D-Station.
But look at the gaps, though. It's so super tight, apart from
our
the last
GTE
car.
qualifying session. As we expected, Chris.
Sasha, what do you want?
And it's going to be very hard to separate those GTE cars when you come across a full stint. Tiny, tiny errors mean tiny fraction of a second's lost and gained.
Yeah, I mean, just under half a second between the top 9 cars in the end. You know, incredibly close between all of them, wasn't it? Really, really hard to pick. But, you know, Redline, once again, leading from the front. It's exactly what they would have wanted to have done. And Kevin Siggy absolutely nailed it. We saw it particularly in that second sector. This was the first one, which a lot of them would have got pretty right, but it was the second one where you gain and lose all your time.
Yeah, and he went again, maybe even twice more, and was not able to better this lap. He was pretty equal. Look at the rotation he gets there into turn 4, the rear end of the car, almost sliding too much. He was able to catch it, and this is really where he made up all his time. Great through the second sector of the lap, monstering the curbs as much as he dares, but we're keeping the tyres on the right side of the tarmac. Really tricky braking zone into that right-hander, and then also
turn 8 was
downhill
nailed,
into
though.
the left. And at the moment, we're in the heart of the second sector of the lap here.
Yeah, this is hard because obviously you've got to try and get the car as straight as possible whilst getting it lined up for turns 9 and 10. And now we're down the back straight, and this is a chance where you
Now look the rear end to
chance
step
catch
out
your
on him
breath
on
back
the
before you come into
apex, I
a
guess.
very quick turn 11. You can see use all the curb on the outside.
There you go,
and then,
rear end
chip
slide.
the car in. You don't have to run the car out.
And
keep it in the middle
torque
of
up the
circuit
hill.
because you've got to get back across now to the left, flat out then through the next corner here.
It strikes me as though this setup would not work more than a lap because there's so much rotation, so much
I agree.
from the rear end of the car to help the front
It was a
end get
proper
through the corner.
qualifying
And
setup.
this is where it's going to be fascinating when we get to our 8 hours, because that's going to be a different car tomorrow. He's no way he could take that through a whole hour, but it's worked on a 1-lap sprint, and that's what he needs.
And that's the moment, that last corner.
Here in the last corner,
Heavy
second gear
braking
feels
run
so
down
lazy
that
with the
turn,
car.
You can chuck it all away by just locking the inside front, but cool as you like, and you can see that in his reaction, Yuri Kazdorp, even as he comes across the line. cool as anything, isn't he? And that's what took them to the title so comfortably last year.
And Chris, you know what it's like when you've got a car that's so oversteery like that, that's got so much rotation in it. In the sim world, it's quite hard to actually feel just how much you're getting. And these professional drivers are not doing it by the seat of their pants. They're seeing that rotation.
No, that is really, really hard, isn't it? But particularly for someone like Alex Smolyar, you know, he races an FIA Formula 3 car. And that is incredibly different because you're doing everything through, you know, through the feel of what's going underneath you in the car, and the G-force you get from racing in that is so different. Everything that goes through the muscles is now you've got to put that all into your brain. So yeah, that's why you would have seen Smolyar wiping his forehead at the end, because everything that usually just comes through natural reaction, he's having to put, you know, mentally through into himself.
Endurance racing, you are only ever as weak. You're only as strong as your weakest driver. That's one of the sayings about any endurance racing. And for many of these teams, their weakest link will be their pro FIA graded driver. But we've got Smolyar, as you've mentioned, and Moritz Lerner on the second row of the grid.
Yeah.
Those two
And we would have Tom Dillman, Ben Viscal, Sergio Santacamera, Guerri in our car that is identically quick than the sim races.
It is. It's the other way
if
around,
not faster.
When we went racing
when it comes to me.
For the first time, it was a bit of an explainer to say, you know, Fernando Alonso is actually the weaker driver here, isn't he? And people like him and Jenson Button were saying, teach me how to drive. Teach me how to drive. What do I do? You know, because it's completely different to driving a Formula One car. And it was probably the same for Max Verstappen, who, of course, we're going to see throughout the season. It's the same for him when he first jumped.
He just
sends
it.
To have done the same thing. Teach me how to do this, because they're just naturally catching the steering wheel as they go through corners like that in a single seater or in a GT car. So it's completely different, and for them to get used to that takes a lot of practice. But they'll never be quite as good as these guys who have done it for years and years and years.
Feedback in your rigs is ultimately incredibly important, and we're very lucky to have fantastic partners here at the Le Mans Virtual Series, including one that is promoting this weekend, and you can get yourself a code to buy the very latest in Thrustmaster technology. Let's take a break.
A break. Nice, I'm doing advertising for Thrustmasters now. Copy. Magnetic pedals. Ninja Michael, yep, I'm racing tomorrow.
On Traction and all of our social channels, there are various codes hidden in our posts, and you can therefore win yourself Thrustmaster for the rest of the weekend, which will be a great way to start our series and start perhaps your racing career. Right, we're going to switch our attention from the GTE category to the highly competitive world of LMP2, Chris.
Yeah. Incredibly competitive, isn't it? 24 cars out there. Which one of them do you pick? I mean, Red Line, of course, were the team that led the charge last year. That real-time hydrogen, Red Line car leading the way, winning the 24-hour and winning the championship. But an incredibly close here. We can see the cars making their way down the end of the
Papayerne.
It was that point split at the
in
top.
the pole.
So close. We'll see which one of them is going to walk away this year.
Sienne or is it
in there,
David? Both are somewhere at the front there.
Car, you know, Porsche.
So green flag it is. Push.
The Brabham name is back as well. How exciting is that? That's going to be pretty cool to see how they get on. So
and Van Wall.
Yes,
would you believe?
Yeah, as well. So there's so much to look out for. I mean, we've got drivers that are jumping up. You know, driver transfer market in Le Mans Virtual has been pretty heavy as well. You know, some big names moving about from big teams. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see how this plays out now. This is the first time where we see, as we just saw in GTE, who are the front runners. And not only that, but who are the dark horses as well. So, yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see. Of course, that Rebellion car did very well last year, the #1 car, and the the Floyd by Collis car also did very well. Of course, different name, different backing for them, as you mentioned, this year, though. And that's what's going to be interesting to see how they get on.
The Rolex clock has hit 5:30 local time, and LMP2 qualifying is underway. There is the Van Wall Floyd, effectively by Colles entry, but with new branding both in the real and the virtual world, and don't expect the performance to drop in any form. They still have that same epic line.
The names Rietveld, Pinto, Diogo Pinto, Simoncic, Burlak, Chinchik, De Jong, Rogers, Pejic, Latilo, Wisniewski, Carroll, Granqvist, Rojek, Ottaviani, just to name a few. Currently in the cars. Jesus Christ. Anyway, here we go, crunch time, guys. We're going. This is the, was it the 444? So that's David.
They've been knocking on the door for ever since we started.
That is, oh no, it's the 4. It's Yanni.
Ready to go and fight for the title.
So we are looking
but they're definitely prepared enough to go
forward to the first intersections.
Interested to see how they get on. Consistency in a team, I think,
hey John,
as well in a championship like this, and can help you out a lot.
Jone Simoncic is aboard that car for qualifying. You are
John, I will.
allowed to change your drivers if you need to.
If Jesper's watching, then a hi. Otherwise, I'm gonna tell on later. So, Yanni, purple S1. Let's see if we see more purples to the S1 as soon as more cars are crossing the lines. Beautiful burst shirts.
He is the fastest man, or was the fastest man out on circuit. In fact, still is the fastest
I see some bulls.
Through that first sector.
Yeah, there you got purple S1 still. Keep pushing.
And we, of course, expect the times to get better and better as the session wears on. But it's great.
Good bunker lap is the half of everything here, actually.
In the slightly dusty environment that is provided, incredibly hot place to go racing, and there's no doubt that there'll be many sim rigs and sim rooms around the world that'll also be equally as warm.
Yeah, we had obviously the all-Chinese team, the InSpeed team. We've got the Mexican.
He's still purple S1. He's also purple S2.
How those guys fare. It's good to have those guys. Of course, we had the Axel team do very well last year.
Rietveld now purple S2.
Team out there in the number 29. So keep an eye.
41.5.
Guys as well. There, just another one.
Provisional pole for the moment. Rogers, Rojek.
The Pescarolo eSport team.
3.5 tenths down.
Another exciting new addition.
Ahead of De Jong, Pejic in second.
Let's talk about Mercedes, because it was a kind of
wow, Rietveld 0.3.
where there were rumours that Mercedes AMG were about to expand from their involvement in sim racing through F1 esports to globally getting involved in anything and everything, including the very biggest.
So there we have at least the order.
Is basically Le Mans.
Okay, so since there are no times on the board, there they are.
They have decided to run a team for themselves. That is AMG Petronas Esports, and that's run out of the Formula 1 team where there is a sim room. And then they have a partnership with Williams Esports, and therefore we've got the AMG team Williams Esports, not to be confused with Williams Esports, which are also running a car.
Yeah, very unconfusing, of course. So as it stands, P2 for the number 4, P8 currently for the 444.
Mercedes AMG putting huge backing into the world of sim racing, and therefore recognizing that this is the place to showcase. And their lineup, by the way, is to this weekend Bono Huis, who ultimately probably is one of the richest sim racing drivers from his performances and winning that Vegas
richest copy
Visa Vegas e-race many years ago, but the prize was $1 million at the time, and therefore in theory he should be one of the richest men in sim racing. Whatever happened to his prize money, who knows? He is now joined by Red Bull Racing and fellow winner in Formula E terms, and that's rFactor 2 as well, so there's a good feeling there. Graham Carroll, and then multiple, world's fastest gamer and multiple ACC champion James Baldwin.
Yeah.
Not only are they amazing drivers,
Chinchik.
they are star names in the world of sim racing.
Number 8.
James Baldwin was the
Now
first
starting the
winner
lap,
of
I
Bahrain
guess.
as well, out in Le Mans in 2019. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
on a completely different platform altogether.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and look what he's gone and done.
So
he's
David
been
just
able
out
to
of the
jump
pits.
across. That just shows his
So I know
talent,
where to look for the
and as
new
you said,
times.
World's fastest gamer. That says it all for itself, doesn't it? James Baldwin.
So
very,
Yannick
very
got the
talented driver,
purple as
a
one,
very
rFactor
exciting
purple
one
in
for him as well,
second
when
and
he raced
third
in the
sector.
British, GT Championship.
It's just,
and was
what,
very,
3
very quick in
tenths
that,
though.
So great to see him there with the team.
It's
And
quite a
crucially,
bit.
because he did that and has real-world experience in GT racing, he is their nominated pro driver. He has an FI international license, and therefore he ticks that box. So not only is he possibly one of the fastest sim racers that exist, he is also their pro driver. So they don't have to compromise too much on a pro driver that has, as we were speaking about earlier, a little bit less experience than their teammates. Interestingly, Graham Carroll is aboard that car for this session, and they are at the moment in 3rd spot. It's the number 1 machine. It's Team
Chinchik.
Redline. You might get bored of us talking about Team Redline over the 8 hours tomorrow, because they are starring once again. Jeffrey Rietveld is aboard the number 1
On
machine,
course
which is
for
fastest with a
P2 right now.
1:41.324.
Chinchik in the number
Many
8.
teams and drivers, though, bailing out of
So
their first
Wisniewski,
attempts.
purple, sector 1. Well, not purple, but faster than Rietveld.
Up there as well. That's going to be exciting to see.
Lacking
how they
6
fare
tenths
as well. Really excited to see
in the middle
how
sector
the
though.
Porsches go. Essentially,
Chinchik coming towards the
doing what they're gonna be
line.
doing in the real world. So they're jumping up.
Aw,
Categories there.
you gotta
And,
be kidding me.
it'll be
3
exciting to
thousandths of a
see
second.
How the Porsche teams fare there with Coander, of course.
So,
the Axel
that
team
means
we
now
mentioned, a
David
new-
is starting the
bit of
lap.
a transfer driver lineup in
And
this
Yannick
year
should
as
be
well.
too.
So, off the back of that
Yannick is
fantastic
sector
results,
1.
and here's a team who always goes very
Half a
well.
tenth off his own.
The Williams esports team have always been very, very quick.
Winners, of course,
So
of our
far.
very first Le Mans Virtual. Nikodem Wisniewski having a bit of a slow middle and last sector of the lap there, so not as fast as he would expect.
David now
Just going
starting
back
the lap.
quickly to reference
Still
those
10th.
Porsche Coander drivers, all big names in the world of Coander and sim racing. Josh Rogers, Matt Backham, Martin Kronke in the 23 machine. Mitchell de Jong, Tommy Usgaard and Zach Campbell aboard the 20 machine. They are joined by pro drivers Aychan Guven in the 20, and again another guy who is about as fast in the real as he is in the virtual, and then Lauren Heinrich.
Hey Kisek, thank you so much. Sharon, no,
so
Evolving Rubber.
Porsche Coander
Evolving Rubber.
esports. The logo is changed.
Yannick's
the livery is
middle
changed.
sector,
There is Josh
3
Rogers, the
tenths off
Australian, multiple-time,
Rietveld.
champion,
Ah,
but not
can aboard that
necessarily
lap,
in
sadly,
rFactor
I'm
2, but
afraid.
these days, if you want to be a
David's
champion in the world of sim
first
racing, you
sector,
have to be able
oh,
to jump into
7
any
tenths
platform and
off,
be fast. And
probably
Rogers,
traffic.
I think over the years has
Need to send
proved
that off
even
too.
if he doesn't have the championships to show it.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those familiar names to the front, isn't he? He's one of the names you tend to mention quite a lot, and for all the right reasons as well. So he's a very exciting name to have in that car, and you can see why this is a very, very good class to watch this year, and even the likes of the
So
Team
Rogers
Forzilla
coming
team
towards
who
the
we saw
line.
briefly in the background as well. They're going to be
Stays in
a
8th
really
for the
exciting
moment.
team to watch this year as well. Luke Browning out in the car for them, their pro driver this year. They're a team that's knocked on the door of some great results as well. Sergio
Rietveld is
Sette
added
Cameron
again.
is out there, as well. He's out there with the next few team as well.
But not
So
strong enough
some
middle
great
sector.
drivers,
It's
those
so
two
funny,
drivers,
so often
the
in those 20 minutes, the first lap is somehow the one that's the best.
Don't get
Somehow.
too confused, dear fellow watcher, because that is a Team Redline car, even though there is Red Bull logos on, because there's now a partnership between Verstappen.com, which is Max Verstappen's esports team. Max Verstappen always has been part of Team Redline, and so it's effectively just another rebrand of Team Redline. That brings the Red Bull sponsorship. So it's not a Red Bull car. They are Team Redline run machines. MaxVerstappen.com partnerships. The Red Bull comes from there rather than them being Red Bull drivers. Here is Tom Lartalou, once upon a time a pad racer, and now he finds himself right in the heart of a Alpine team.
Yeah, and again, just another
There's
big
David now.
manufacturer that we've got with us in Alpine Esports.
But he's on his
again.
cooldown lap.
It's just a really, it's a fantastic grid all the way through, isn't it? And when we see all these guys charging down towards turn number 1 for the first time, it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
I have a feeling that Tom Lartalou was once known as Storm. I think that was his tag. And he was either a Forza or a GT Sport driver. One or two.
I believe it was the latter.
Was it the latter?
Yeah.
But a champion in it, because I remember him being part of the Champion of Champions event. And
8.5 minutes to
I've not
go.
seen him at this kind of a level in kind of serious hardcore sim racing, which obviously rFactor 2 is. So great to see him coming up with Alpine Esports. And again, Alpine Esports have
Come on, David.
running throughout the year.
Sitting
They've put a huge
14th
amount
right
of
now.
backing into esports, Alpine being the brand that is effectively owned and run by Renault and run the F1 team and the obviously WEC team as well, that's participating at the head of the championship in WLC and potentially could take the championship. Great squad that he's alongside with Sport and McDuff. Their pro driver in that number 36 car is not on my list.
First sector 31-0.
Mainly French team there.
Roughly a tenth of Yanni.
But they actually have had I think James Baldwin is the champion of their esports.
It's like a good
series
turn
they put
8.
together over the last year.
Oh, well, that's just another thing he's won.
It's
isn't
just
it?
another thing he's won.
Just oh, there we go. Carrying far too much speed here. The number 4.
Yeah, overshot that
into
apex
the
a bit.
corners, just has to tail it down a little bit here. Road check, just getting a little bit too eager.
Beautiful entry though into 11.
Of the car is something that.
Let's see the middle sector. 45.3.
We can see.
Yeah,
Whilst
these are
Yanni,
the teams.
oh!
Van Wall number 4, run by Burst Esports, and then Van Wall
Just
number
missed
4,
out
run by Burst Esports.
on the
They
provisional
are
pole.
known differently as Floyd in the number 4, and then Next View in the triple 4.
Here we can see the.
So the triple
4
4 is
car,
coming
as we
closer to
said,
the
has
line.
been
We
a
will
front runner
improve
for a long time and no difference. Second overall.
if the last sector is
55,000
decent.
Jurne Simoncic in the car.
But where do we go to?
379. So second.
David goes to
behind
pits.
the number 1 Team Red Line car. Then it is.
So
the
not good
number
enough of a
28
final
car
sector then.
Next along of Yas Heat.
Another team we haven't spoken about.
No.
Yas Heat Veloce, another powerhouse in the world of esports.
Yep, Rodrigo, we're in the triple 4.
Yas Island being the venue of the Formula 1 circuit over in Abu Dhabi, hugely supporting esports over the last couple of years through their team Yas Heat, which is run by Team Veloce, and they have a massive lineup of drivers there, including Eamon Murphy, Isaac Gillinson, and it is Pajek aboard the car right now. Their pro driver is
Look at Riedfeld's first sector now.
And we see across the
Also
line there,
doesn't
it's Team
improve.
Red Line, but yeah, yes,
Interesting.
8th in the championship last year. Let's see what they can do. Again, I think they're another team who would have worked a lot on, coming into a second season. We'll just see them improve with the experience they've had of a season behind them now. That first season was a bit of a learning curve for a lot of the teams out there. Not as much for some, but for others I think it was, and that's nothing against them as teams or drivers. It's just because it was a brand new championship to get used to. There we can see that was a good first sector, but tailed away towards the end there for Pinto, and 7th place in the number 2 Team Red Line car.
There is the Yas Heat Veloce livery, all in white, and the well-known
Page
V,
purple as one.
faster in the first sector, which seems to be the case with a lot of these cars, but it's the middle sector where once again you make the difference, and once again
Yeah, I don't even know where Yanni really lost the time that lap.
Comes to the second
I gotta say that the Riedfeld's middle sector is bloody fast.
Good improvement as Carroll, I think, was that improve. In fact, that might have been Rogers improving as well. De Jong is coming into the top 10.
There
as
is
well, so we're seeing
Pejic.
plenty of improvements, but yes, Heat.
Yeah, he's going to the pits, I reckon.
Going for the pit lane,
let's point out that you can't just sit at the side of the circuit and press escape. You have to bring the car back to the pits. Only once you break the pit lane speed limiter are you allowed to then escape back to your box. So you do have to do an in and an out lap as well as your fast lap and get the tyres changed. I reckon they might have a chance for another 2 if they're fast. Otherwise, this could be the last.
So David, 31.009 in the first sector, 1.5 tenths of the purple time.
2022
90 thousandths of Riedfeld in sector 1.
Maybe less important to get pole position here, but it's so competitive that I mean.
Let's look at the middle sector.
Less than just over half a second separating the top 14 cars.
Still going.
Vector Esport as well, having a good start.
So now Jerne is coming at it again.
So far, so going along very well, just outside.
So I'm doing a little bit of radio here, waiting on the middle sector, 45.1. That puts him a total of 2.5 tenths down.
This year after being scouted by them.
And there is their team.
I expect somewhere in the top 10 we're gonna end up if the final sector is looking alright. Jumping from 15th to, let's say, 8th maybe. Let's see. Final sector's gonna decide it. David puts it 6th.
Interesting that Yuyovsky's not
very good. Very important.
Usually, he would be the man, but in 3rd position right now. That was a faster lap time. They're not going to have a chance to go again. So the
problem is, though, yes, exactly. The problem is that David is now done. He has to make it back to pit road, and I think then it's not enough time to go out again. Although he already passed first second, it might just add up.
One lap.
What does it?
They're going to do the one warm-up and then go for one more lap.
Oh.
So we can see we're looking down at the, I think this might be the number 5 car, the Williams Esports car, down in 13th place.
Yeah, this is all paid DLC, guys. But yeah, you can get the endurance pack with the GTEs and the LMP2. I don't know, I think the full content, including all tracks, is around 60-70 euro in total. Not sure though. So here is Jerne. Is Jerne on a lap? He is, but too slow and oof. Oh yeah, he's trying to push to get out in time again, but I am afraid it's not going to be happening.
Of the 2nd sector, a couple of tenths.
David is still on the way back to pit road. David surely won't make it. So whatever happens now.
Also out there trying to improve the number 100 car as well. That's the Arnage competition car. But we follow Team Fordzilla now making its way into the final 2 corners.
Ottaviani with a personal best sector 1, a personal best sector 3. Improvement in lap time, but no improvement in position.
0.6 of a second off. No improvement from Alessandro Ottaviani, and that will be the end of the session.
No, Jerome, I don't have a track map. I have live timing, and yeah, David is stationary in the pits. Jerne is on an out lap though.
We've got other teams out there, Ferris Stanley trying to improve in the number 22 as well, the Rocket Sim Sport car as well, the number 65, of course, the Panis Racing team. They've done a personal best through the 1st sector as well. Casabon in the car for them. Let's see if either of those can improve.
We would now be somewhere in 17th or 16th if David did not improve. So very important that he did.
As we pick up, is this the Simsport car? I think it is, coming in towards the 11th corner now and up towards the end of the 2nd sector.
30 seconds remaining on the clock. Ferris Stanley pushing hard. We're going to see many more improvements further back. We bail out of Ferris because we're going to follow Jeffrey Rietveld, who has been the fastest man through the 2nd sector. He's improved slightly in the 3rd sector as well.
Look at that middle sector.
Faster than him, and he goes faster once more. Rietveld secures himself at the head of the field. Can anybody find 0.2 of a second to topple Redline from a double pole position here at the 1st round of the championship? The flag flies. There are plenty of cars on laps.
Jerne didn't make it.
Fast enough to topple
Jerne is finished.
Nikodem Wisniewski has just done a really good 1st sector actually, and it was quicker than the first sector we just saw from Jeffrey Rietveld as well. Nikodem Wisniewski is the one to watch. He is the quickest car on circuit as he comes down through at turns
but he's
9 and 10. Nikodem Wisniewski,
look at that improvement that might come
that potentially
from P14 or P15 even.
Tom Lartilu trying to improve as well. We've also got Josh Rogers trying to improve from 8th place, but this is the car to watch, Ben.
There's Wisniewski. I love the livery of that. The silver of the silver arrows at the front. The Williams chill blast in the rear of the car.
Wow, they lose half a second in the middle sector.
Could be too much. Could be too much for slide. We're seeing
half a
some
second.
improvements in the top 5. Wisniewski 4.5.
David dropped to 7th.
And that is going to put, well, he can still improve from there. He is 7/10 down in 14th position right now. It depends on how much time he's lost in the last sector of the lap. Comes to
even 8th now, 9th.
Surely an improvement, but not enough to challenge the top of the
Wisniewski with a blistering final sector to 7th, 8th, right ahead of us.
Right now. As you say,
that's it then, I think.
Watch, isn't he?
Yeah, Casabon
P9 and
good,
P2.
Actually, down in 16th place, only goes P14 though.
1,000th of a second.
Major improvements.
There's one more
and also 6,000th of a second into the other direction.
But he is only he stays
wow.
in 15th spot, so he bails out of his lap. I think he was on a good lap.
Yeah, not an easy one. Not an easy one.
That is it. No more other cars.
So guys, no more other guys can challenge. We have a grid, and we're about to come to an end right now, because now it's important for us to jump onto the radio and get the strategy out for tomorrow. 8 hours of Bahrain coming up tomorrow here on this channel as a mixture of being a watch party and a drive party. So of course, when I'm going to be in the car, you're gonna have the exclusive onboard of our number 444 LMP2 runner, and whilst I'm off the duty, we are enjoying the live stream as a watch party, as we just did right now, not from this seat but over there from the rig. So that's going to happening. Basolino, our team is in a partnership with Van Wall Racing, and we're very, very happy for that partnership. Yeah, super tight here as well. Less than half a tenth of a second in average when it comes from position to position, apart from first to second. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. That's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Again, if you appreciate our content, please follow up on Twitch. We're missing one more follow only to hit 3,900, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hit them tomorrow. Same goes for YouTube, actually. We're trying to hunt 5,800 subscribers overall. We're currently lacking, I think, 7 to do so. So if you're new to the channel, guys, please follow up, please subscribe on the channel, and make this community grow. As in for tomorrow, 2 PM, we will be live with the racing activities here on the channels. We need to still file who's going to start the car tomorrow. P9 for our car is not the worst, yet not the best possibility, or the best position, obviously. But still, like, this grid is entirely packed up and it's like super tight. So yeah, we need to see how this goes, and we need to see how we are getting the car further ahead. Of course, tomorrow with the tons of drivers, or different tons of drivers around. Sorry, I'm watching a lap of Rietveld, and he even missed an apex in the middle sector, and yet he is 4/10 clear. He's even 5/10 clear in the middle sector. This is just crazy. Super crazy. Anyway, yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. We are having a little bit of work to do, guys. Thank you for your time. I hope we see each other tomorrow, and till then, have a nice weekend, guys. See you. Bye bye.